Hey everybody, welcome back to another skill-based movement guide. Next one we're doing here is going to be the hinge. So the hinge is a very common movement related to a lot of different exercises. First exercise that comes to mind for a lot of you is going to be the deadlift. So we'll work on a little bit with the barbell here today, but what I want you to think about is this is a movement that's emulated in a lot of different exercises. So the more we work on the movement as its own, we get better at those exercises that use that movement. So another common exercise that uses the movement is going to be the kettlebell swing. So we'll kind of show you different ways to use this hinge to benefit that exercise as well. But first and foremost, working on the hinge is also going to help you in your daily life. So when we're reaching down to pick something up, reaching down to tie our shoe, we're always using this hinge movement. So when you're reaching down to pick something up, the most common saying is lift with your legs, not your back. So we're going to teach you kind of how to do that and why that's an important thing. So the hinge is essentially hinging at your waist here. So when we're doing the hinge, the major muscle group we're going to be using is the largest muscle. It's going to be our glutes. So when we do this hinge, I want to start by, like in the squat, pushing our hips back as far as I can, because if I were to just hinge over this way, I would fall straight forward onto my face, and we don't want that. So first things first, my legs are in a powerful position here. I'm not locking my knees backwards because it's going to put my knees at a disadvantaged position. I want to keep a nice, straight, strong leg. So hips come back, and I'm going to keep my back nice and flat. What always helps me is to keep my chest up and look straight ahead the whole time. If I start to look down towards the ground, you can see that my back starts to round at the back. We don't want that. So as I start this movement, I'm going to keep my chest up tall, look straight ahead, and I'm exaggerating the stretch in these glutes. The glutes and hamstrings is where you should be feeling this the most if your back is flat. So when we say lift with your legs, not your back, you don't want to be reaching down to grab something with that rounded back, because whereas the first place that all that stress is going to go is going to be the very round, the very top of that back, and that's when you get injuries and things like that. So when working with a hinge, we want to make sure that we keep that back nice and flat so that we let our big muscle groups, the glutes, hamstrings, do what they can. So as I talked about earlier, a lot of people use the hinge in the deadlift. So a common way to work on this is to actually emulate holding that barbell. Helps a lot of people keep their back nice and flat because we get to use this barbell to hold. So when we do the deadlift, it usually starts at the bottom. I'm going to start at the top. A common thing that people do is spread their shoulder blades apart while they're coming down. So you can see that I'm going to be spreading my shoulder blades apart, and that's going to put a big severe round in my upper back as opposed to keeping my back nice and flat, and then my back stays nice and straight as I do this exercise here. So when you're working with our barbell or your broomstick, whatever you have, we want to make sure that we keep this nice and close to our body. That'll help keep our lats engaged and flatten out that back for us so we don't have to really think about it too much. So we keep that barbell close to our body, we let the back do the work for us. So when we're doing this hinge motion, think about using your glutes as much as possible. When we hinge over, I want you to think about, on the way up, squeezing these muscles as tight as you can so that they put you in a good position, because we want to be driving through our glutes on this. So when we're picking things up, reaching down to tie our shoe, we want to make sure that we are engaging those glute muscles and those hamstring muscles at all times. So thinking about this when you put it into perspective of the gym, always be using a flat back. You hear that so often, but use your legs as much as possible. You should be feeling that stretching those hamstrings. You should be feeling the activation of your glutes when you stand, not just thinking about standing up as easily as possible. We want to use those glutes to stand up. So I hope that this helped you. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out our mobility exercise guides that we've been putting out, our metabolic conditioning workouts. We've got a lot of content coming for you guys, so stay tuned. See you in the next video.